Okay, so let's bring ourselves into a comfortable position. You can be seated, you can be lying down. If you're lying down, feel free to pop some padding under your head. And if you're seated and the hands are just resting on the lap, then try to turn the palms over so the palms are facing to the ceiling. And if you're lying down and the arms are just down by the side body, let's do the same. Let's flip the hands so the palms are facing the ceiling. And if you prefer to keep the hands on the abdomen or anywhere else, then please keep yourself in that shape. But let's all relax the hands as best as we can. The wrist, the palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the thumb, and the fingers all just relaxing. And as you start to bring your attention to the breath, just notice a little bit of movement in the torso, the rise and fall, the expansion and the contraction. And for some of you today, you're going to be staying with the natural breath, just noticing where you're at right now. For others, maybe you're moving to a full breath, breathing in as much as you can, breathing out for as long as you can. And the choice is yours. And then spend a moment with the sound of your breath. And if you'd like to bring that visual in, just imagine a little wave rolling in, traveling up the shore. And as you breathe out, the water retreats back. Inhale, the water rolls in. Exhale, and it retreats back. And let's just take 3 more breaths here. And then from here, you can just start to bring a little bit of movement into the hands and the feet. Take this opportunity to stretch and lengthen the body any way that you want to. And then we're going to open our practice in our high kneeling position. So take this moment to shift yourself into kneeling, remembering to bring some padding in if that's more comfortable. You can pad under the shins to lift the knee away from the ground, or you can pad under the knees for just a little bit of cushioning. Excellent. And from that high kneeling position, I just to practice our camel pose to begin with. Hands come into the lower back, elbows pointing backwards. As you breathe in, start to push hips forward. As you breathe out, lift the chest, lift the chin, and keep pressing the hips forward. When you next breathe in, bring yourself back up. And if you can, sit the bum down towards the heels. From here, I just want us to bring the hands together, and we're just gonna rub the palms of the hands together. Maybe just interlacing the fingers, rub in between that region, and then coming around to the back of the hand, and then across to the other. Wonderful. Let's have a dry wash of the hands. Now, from here, as you next breathe in, lift yourself up tall, hips forward, hands to the lower back. Exhale. Start to lift the chest, lift the chin, and see how that back bend feels now. Let's go one more breath. Wonderful. Let's sit that bum back down, or you can stay kneeling. And this time, if you're wearing glasses, just take them off for a moment. I want you to take the palm of the hand, cover the right eye, really block out all of the light, and then take the palm of the left hand to cover the left eye. I just want you to block out as much light as you can. You can keep the eyes closed. And just imagine you're staring into the darkest point. Let the breath be natural. We're just going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then just draw the hands away, let the light back in. Pop glasses back on if you're wearing them. And then let's breathe in. Let's come up tall, hands to the lower back. Push the hips forward. Lift that chest. Lift the chin. One more breath. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Now we're going to go into that sequence we've been practicing. So we're going to take the knees a little bit wide, big toes together. Let's start to drop ourselves down into child's pose. So from here, maybe chest and chin is really dropping down to the ground, and you want to start to reach the arms out long, or you can continue with making one fist, stacking the other fist on top, and resting the forehead. Wonderful. As you next inhale, press down through the fingertips, draw yourself up to our high kneeling position. And we've already practiced our camel a couple of times, so we'll just skip that one now. We're going to take the right leg, we're going to step it out wide, big toe in line with the knee. Coming into that lazy gate pose, dropping right shoulder down, lifting left shoulder up, and just letting the arms dangle. Come into your breath now. Really start to notice and feel and align with the inhale and the exhale. As you next inhale, we're coming back upright. As we exhale, left hand's coming down to the ground. Supported side plank. We're lifting that back leg if you want to. If you want to add a bit of challenge here, take that top arm, reach it up to the ceiling. We've got one more breath. And then if you want to, as you next inhale, take the raised right foot, step it forward. And we're going to bring ourselves up directly into our low lunge. Wonderful. Nice and tall through the chest here. We're going to start to bend through the right leg, shift the hips forward. Now from here, with right hand onto the right thigh, I want you to take the left arm, I want you to sweep it up, okay? And as the hips go forward, I want you to reach the thumb of the left hand as far back as you can. Excellent. One more breath. And inhale, bring those hips back over the knee. What I want to do is straighten out through the right leg. Just extend that heel a little further forward. Let me just turn. Just kind of press it forward a little bit, and then you can start to hinge as you breathe out. Now, for some of us, we can drop bum back towards the heel a little bit more to assist with this. Can fold over that leg, draw the toes to the body. 3 breaths here. As you inhale, rebend that right leg. Shift the hips forward to get that foot onto the ground. Then we're going to finish it with our side bend. So left arm's going to sweep up, reach it tall. And then from there, if you want to, left can come over to the right side. Stay with that breath. As you next inhale, bring yourself back upright. Hand comes down as you exhale. Return to your kneel-in. Knees go wide, chest drops down. We find our child's pose. Once again, as you next breathe in, start to spring yourself back up to that high kneeling position, knees under hips. This time, left foot's going to step out. I'm going to start with that lazy gate pose. Left shoulder drops, right shoulder lifts, arms dangle. As you next inhale, back upright. As you exhale, right hand down to the ground. Left leg lifts if you want to. Left arm lifts if you want to. Reach to the ceiling. Now, as you next breathe in, that left foot, shift it forward, step it down, and then come into your low lunge. Now, from here, hips are going to go forward, left hand to left thigh. Bend through that left leg as much as you want. And then once you're at that end range where you've gone, okay, that's as far as I can go, sweep that right arm up, and then drive the thumb back. Draw it back behind you as far as you can. One more breath. Inhale to bring yourself back up. Right arm comes down. So we exhale. We're going to extend through the left leg. Okay. And then we just start to hinge forward. For some of us, bum's going to sit back to assist with this. For others, we're going to keep pelvis over the knee. And we're just going to hinge. Hands rest on the front of the legs. You can come down to the ground if you want. Fingertips to the mat. Wonderful. And as you next breathe in, bring yourself back up as you rebend through that leg. We're going to finish with the side bend. Okay, so hips forward once again. Right arm comes back to the ceiling. And then if you want to, right arm can come over to the left side. Inhale, the arm comes up and drops down. Exhale, bring knees back together. Drop yourself into your child's pose. Once again, the next two breaths, just see if you can slow the breath down. Wonderful. And as you next inhale, we bring ourselves back up to our high kneeling. From here, once you're in high kneeling, exhale, hands to lower back, push the hips forward, lift the chest, lift the chin, camel pose. Find length in the front of the body. We'll go for one more breath. Inhale back up. Excellent. Exhale, right foot steps out. We come into that gate pose. Big toe in line with the knee. And this time you can take lazy gate or you can sweep left arm up. Arm comes up and over. Bring in that bit of a counter twist as the arm comes up and over. Turn the chest ever so slightly to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, the left hand comes down. The right leg lifts if you want. The right arm can go up. One more breath. As you inhale, the right foot steps forward. As we exhale, bring ourselves up to that low lunge. Now, this time, as we send the hips forward, okay, you can keep hands on the thigh or you can sweep both of the arms up. And once again, just like we did on the single side, think of the thumbs, drive them behind. You've got arms as wide as you want for this. As you inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, lengthen through that front leg, and you can start to fold over the front leg. Hands finding the ground, the front of the leg, or even hands on the hips. As you next inhale, rebend that front leg, come back into that low lunge. It's probably a bit of a longer stance now, that's okay. Left arm comes up, left comes over to the right. Get that side body stretch. Breathe. As you next inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, shift the hips back as you make your way into your child's pose once again. Knees wide, chest drop in. Come into the forearms or making that little tower with the fists. Breathe. Slow the breath right down again. Let it become your focus of effort and intention. We're just going to finish up with this left side now as we inhale, bringing ourselves back to high kneeling, hands catching the lower back. Exhale, hips forward, chest lifts, chin lifts, camel pose. Inhale, bring yourself back up. As you next exhale, left foot steps out wide. You've got lazy gait, or you can sweep that right arm up and over. If you've got the arm up and over, a little bit of counter rotation here. So we're just going to take that chest ever so slightly, turn it to the right. When you next breathe in, bring yourself back upright. And then as you breathe out, right hand to the ground. Left leg lifts, left arm lifts. Lift that leg as high as you can. This is our last one. Then the hand comes down, that left foot steps forward. Position yourself into your low lunge. Breathing out to shift the hips forward. And then if you want to, arms can sweep up and overhead. Going as wide as you want. Think of the thumbs, drive the thumbs back. One more breath here. When you next breathe in, come back to your low lunge. Arms come down. Left leg extends. We start to hinge forward. Once you've found your position in, breathe out and just allow the head and shoulders to drop ever so slightly. Find that length in the back of the leg. And when you next breathe in, rebend that leg, shift the hips forward. Right arm goes up. If you want to, right arm comes over to the left side. We've got one more breath here. And when you next inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale back to your high knee then. Splendid. Now, from here, we're going to turn towards the short edge of the mat. If you were facing towards the long edge of the mat, we're going to come into our kind of traditional orientation as we drop down into our tabletop position. Now, from our tabletop, I just want us to start to breathe in and start to just drop the torso down. Draw the shoulder blades together, but keep the head looking down. So we kind of blend in a cat-cow and a scapular press-up here. As you exhale, start to round through the spine and pull the shoulder blades apart, okay? Let's just take a couple of these. Inhale, torso drop, shoulder blades move together. And just think about you're popping the bum up ever so slightly. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades together. And just tuck your bum under to create that rounding. Let's take two more like this. And then from here, you can go into our traditional cat and cow. We move that neck, right? Create a bit of extra arching and extra rounding. And just do 3 rounds of this, neck moving. Splendid. Now, resetting into your neutral tabletop. If you want to, join me for taking the right leg back, toes tuck. Taking the left arm forward, and we can just rest the little finger onto the ground. Okay, from here, right leg lifts. From here, maybe left arm lifts. We're coming into our balancing cat. Now, as we next inhale, I want you to bend the extended leg and pull the extended arm back. So think elbow down towards the hip. Re-extend arm and leg. We're going to do 2 more of these. Exhale, bend elbow to hip. Last one. Re-extend. Bring the hand down. Bring the knee down. Excellent. From here, hands stay grounded. Just take a little left to right movement of your pelvis, of your hips, of your bum. Head can sway with it. Slow the movement down. Keep slowing it down and see if you can feel centered between those 2 knees. Feel like everything's sharing the load. And then left leg goes back, toes tuck. Right arm forward, little finger on the ground. This could be you. If you want to, you can then lift the leg. If you want to, you can raise the arm. And take 3 breaths here. And then we're going to blend those 2 movements together. So as we breathe out, the left leg bends, we bend the right arm and pull the elbow down towards the hip. Inhale, re-extend both of the limbs. Exhale, bend, pull the elbow to the hip. Re-extend on the in-breath. Got one more. Exhale, bend. Inhale, re-extend, and as you next exhale, hands down, knees down. Excellent. Now from here, we're going to take the hands just a fraction wider than the shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. Okay, so once you're in your downward facing dog, for some of you, you'll be there for one breath, and then you'll walk the hands back into your forward fold. That is absolutely okay. Go for it. There's also going to be an invitation to stay here for about 5 breaths. So I want you to just do what is right for you. So that bum goes back. As you inhale, bum to ceiling. Keep the legs bent. As you exhale, start to draw the chest to the toes, keeping the legs bent. Like I said, you can be here as long as you want. That's 4 more breaths by my count. Press into the knuckles, press into the thumb, press into the fingers. Last one. And then start to walk the hands back. Walk the hands back. Keep going until the feet are grounded and fingertips can slide up towards the front of the leg. Now, I want us to all make a little adjustment here. I want us to take a big bend in the legs, like you can sit your bum down into a chair. From there, abdomen, get it as close to the thighs as you can. Now, keeping that connection between abdomen and thighs, start to straighten out the legs. Head and shoulder drop in. Now you can do that a couple of times. Bend, connect, straighten. Now 5 breaths here. Wonderful. Now walk the hands at the front of the legs. Start to bring yourself up. Get to that halfway point. Look towards the top edge of your mat. Two more breaths. For this final breath, if you want to, pull shoulders away from the ears. And then bend the legs. Bring yourself up to standing. Wonderful. Let's roll the shoulders. Shake out the legs. We're going to come to facing back towards the long edge of the mat. Feet are going to go wider than hip distance apart. Now, we're going to go through a little series and we're going to end up in our half moon pose. So, over the last couple of weeks, we've kind of gone through a few different things, one of which was using the wall for a bit of support in that. So you roughly know how to use the wall in our balance. So if you want to use that today, please do. You can also do the full sequence. This is kind of the biggest patch of wall I've got in the room. So if we were to go into Warrior 2, it's going to look a little bit odd because I'm off at an angle, but you could use the wall for the whole sequence. And then when we come into half moon, it's there and ready to go. Choice is yours, just something for you to consider as we go through the practice. Now, last thing from me is when I go in this direction, I'm going to be shifting my weight towards this wall. If you're similar to me in that sense and you're moving towards a solid object, just remember your head. Don't fling yourself forward and headbutt something, okay? So anyway, Back to where we were, feet wider than hip distance apart. Let's begin on the left side. We're going to turn the left foot out. We're going to turn the toes towards the short edge of the mat. We're going to bend that leg. We're going to drop that base of the pelvis down into our warrior two. We want the hips and the chest off at a bit of a diagonal. We don't want them facing towards short edge of the mat. We want them out to the side. We're going to make ourselves T-shape the arms. Press into both the feet. Okay, I want you to press into, if you think of the triangle in the feet, heel, base a little toe, base a big toe. Press into them equally as best as you can. One more breath. Now, as you next inhale, start to reach forward ever so slightly, flip left palm to the ceiling, and we're going to send it up. Right arm just drops down as we do. We find our peaceful warrior. And loads of side bend work in this series. You can look up if you want. It can feel quite nice. Test your balance a little bit. If not, look out to the side or off to under the armpit. As you next breathe in, make your way back to warrior two. Okay, set yourself up in a nice strong shape here. And then when you next exhale, that front forearm is going to come down to the thigh. You can also just take hand to thigh, choice is yours. And we're going to take this spare right arm and I want us to sweep it forward, one big circle. The arm goes down to the ground, ahead, up to the ceiling and back around. We're then going to reverse it. Ceiling, forward, ground, behind, and we're going to finish up by bringing bicep to ear. Nice long line, back foot to fingertip connection. Once again, you can look down to the side or you can look up. As you next breathe in, start to press through the feet, bring yourself back to warrior two. So if you're a bit like me, stance has started to kind of get a bit longer and a bit longer and a bit longer. Take a moment to adjust. And we're going to finish up with two shapes here. So we're now going to take left leg, we're going to straighten it out. We're going to T-shape those arms again. This time we're going to reach forward. But I want you to keep reaching that left hand forward as far as you can. And then that hand is going to drop down to the front of the shin, or maybe the ankle, or maybe for some of you, with big long arms, fingertips to the ground, or even palm to the ground. Okay. So from here, we're coming into triangle basically. So let's think about head position again. So we can look down to the ground, generally a bit more stabilizing. You can see the ground, you can see what's going on. You can envision the feet, maybe out to the side, somewhere in between. For a lot of us, we'll still feel quite balanced there. Third option is as the right arm goes up, if you want to, you can look up towards the thumb. Wonderful. One more breath. That raised hand comes down, okay? We're going to start to bend through the left leg. And we're going to take that back foot, we're going to drag it in. You know, we're prepping for our balance now. That back foot comes in about halfway. The hand that maybe was on the ground is going to shift forward slightly. Hand can also stay on the shin. Depends how you're feeling today. If the hand's on the ground, or the shin, or the thigh, from there we can start to lift that back leg up. Think about our supported side plank. Same rules apply here. Head down for a bit more grounding, to the side for a bit more of a challenge, where you can start to look up. Where you can really start to test that balance. Where you can move between all of them. It's okay if that foot drops out. From here, try and land the back foot Go straight back into that warrior two. Oh my God, my left leg needs a little break now. So let's straighten out through the left leg. Turn the feet towards the long edge of the mat. Hands come down. Bring the feet back together. Shake out the legs. Roll the shoulders. Amazing. So from here, I'm just going to move down the mat so that I can go through the full sequence. We are going to come back to feet wider than hip distance apart. I want us to come into a forward fold now. So forward fold, we're going to be here for about 5 breaths. If you want to grab a drink, skip the pose, take a moment, do it. This is your time. Bend, slight bend in the legs. Drop the upper body down. Send that bum up as high as you can, right up to the ceiling. Hands placing on the ground, front of the legs, wherever you want. You can even reach out long for this one. Take a moment, stretch out the back of those legs. I'm just going to take a little wiggle of the hips, left to right. Now, as we inhale, we're going to slowly guide ourselves back up, hands to the thigh, press yourself up. That's it. Okay, I'm going to go through that on the other side now. Right foot turns. We roughly know where we're going now, so I'm not going to talk as much, okay? Right leg turns, right leg bends, warrior two. Hips, chest are out to the side, or at least off to a diagonal. Body open to the long edge of the mat. As you next inhale, reach forward slightly, flip the palms, send it to ceiling. Excellent. That back hand just finds the back leg. Think about whether we're looking up to the side or down to the ground. Bring that into all of these poses. Down to the ground, a bit more stability. To the side, a lot more neutral in the neck is where I generally go. Up for me is quite challenging. And generally makes me feel a little less stable, which can be a wonderful challenge. From here, breathe in back to warrior two. As you exhale, front thigh to front forearm to front thigh. Sweep the arm in that big circle. We're going one big circle in one direction and then taking it in the opposite direction. Then we're going to pause with bicep to ear. Long line. Press into that thigh. Let the upper body lift tall and away. Create space. As you next inhale, the raised arm goes back. As you exhale, refine your warrior two. If you want to maybe shorten the stance or make any adjustments, do it now. We're now going to straighten through the bent leg. We're going to reach forward. We're going to keep reaching forward. Keep going. Keep going. Hand comes down. Okay. So right hand finds the front of the shin. Could be high up the shin, could be lower down the shin. From there, for some of us, we can think about hips open out, chest open out. We can keep sliding that hand down. Maybe fingertips come to the ground. Okay. You can start by looking down to the side. And then if you want to, you can look up. The final offering is reach that arm to the ceiling. That's it. Let's bring the raised hand back down. Start to bend through the front leg, step the back foot in, okay? We're prepping for our half moon on this side. Back foot shifts in. Fingertips be on the ground, the shin, the thigh, whatever you want. And then the back leg, start to lift it up. Wobbly on this side, start by looking down and maybe to the side and maybe up to the ceiling. Half moon. Two more breaths. And then take that back foot, land it back into your warrior two. Hands to the hips. Straighten the legs. Turn the feet to the long edge of the mat. Heels together, toes together, heels together, toes together. A little roll of those shoulders. Shake out your legs. Perfect. Right, we've got just a few minutes spare. So I don't know about you, but it's time for me to find a little bit of length in my legs. Let's bring ourselves down to seated. I'm going to offer you a couple of different poses. So come down to seated. You can always sit on something. Give you a little boost. Okay. First one is our cobbler's pose, right? We don't do this one seated very often, but sitting up nice and tall, soles of the feet to come together, knees open nice and wide. You're in control of how close the feet are to the body. If you feel really rounded in it, take the feet further away. From there, you can fold over the legs and just rest the hands on the ankle. Take a few breaths. Okay. Second option, it's not one that I'm going to take because you know me well enough to know I don't like it, is star pose. Legs straight out in front. Reach forward. Fold down with legs extended directly out in front of you. Head, shoulders hanging round in through the spine. Find length in the back of the body. Or for me, I'm going to go for a wide-legged seated position. So legs wider than hip distance. Press the chest forward. Drop the hands down. Let the head and shoulders lower with it. And just relax the feet. Relax as much of the body as you can here. We're just going to take about 10 breaths here and then we'll move into relaxation. Now, if you want to stay here a bit longer, please do. But if you're ready to move into relaxation, then just bring yourself down to a comfortable position. Feel free to move and stretch any way that you want to. And just let the body sink down into the ground. And now that you've settled, just want you to imagine the right arm is suddenly becoming really light, light enough that it could just hover above the mat. And the same for the left arm. And then for the right leg. And the left leg. Each part so light, it feels like it's floating above the mat. And then let the lower part of your torso become weightless. And the upper part. And finally the head. All becoming light enough that it can just float, hover, levitate away from the mat. Each time you breathe in, just imagine the body is a little bit lighter. Just imagine yourself weightless, hovering, floating. And then let's switch the lightness for heaviness, allowing the body to sink back down into the mat. This time, with every exhale, you become a little heavier. Right arm and left arm, right leg and left leg, lower torso, upper torso, and your head, all just gravitating down into the mat. For these final 2 minutes, you can stay with a sensation that resonates with you, lightness or heaviness. Or maybe you'd rather shift between the two. Inhaling lightness, floating up. Exhaling heaviness, sinking down. And you can gradually start to bring your attention into your room. Just tuning in to any sounds that you can hear. Noticing your surroundings once again. And you may want to stay still, or you may want to start to bring some movement in. And if you've decided to bring movement in, start small and just let it spread through the body, gradually allowing the movements to get bigger. It may be that you progress all the way into a full body stretch. And then from here, you can roll to one side, supporting the head as you do. And then you can start to lift yourself back up to your comfortable seat. Let's bring hands together, elbows wide. As you breathe in, lift the chin. As you breathe out, bow the head over the hands. Thank you so, so much. Thanks, everyone.